What's going on, Maz Gang?
Hey guys.
My name is Brian, and for those of you who do not know, this is my husband,
Alec.
and we are Meetthemazelins.
So we haven't done these sit-downs in a little while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it has. But today we have a really heavy topic for you. Yeah, and by heavy, we mean literally.
Yeah, pun intended.
Right? Today we are going to be talking about weight. Yeah, so everything that it involves, you know, how it's viewed in the gay community in particular, and just how it's been relevant to us and our personal journeys. So yeah, we are gonna get right into it because there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a big thing in media, especially with, if you look at somebody like Sam Smith. Body positivity has been a huge thing in the last couple of years, but we find that it has been tailored a lot more to women. But when it comes to representation, not only in the gay community, but with men in particular, there really isn't that much.
Yeah, there isn't. It's a little unfair.
Yeah.
Gays or our community can be very, very harsh when it comes to weight.
Yeah, and just body image in general.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking a little bit about that, especially because we've had some personal experience since it is that we've decided quite a bit of personal experiences on the different platforms since it is that we've decided to share our story through social media.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right into it. But before we do, I just want to find out from you what your journey with body image and weight in particular has been like.
From like little boy till now?
Yeah, you can start with whatever you think is important from your journey.
Okay. So when I've always had an image issue, I guess. I was big. I started off a very chubby boy. If I can find pictures, I'll show you. But I just started off chubby. Then when I got to, I want to say, high school is when I lost all the weight. I remember when I was probably 7 or 8, I was wearing the same size underwear then that I was when I was like 24.
Okay, you want to tell us the size, the number?
Sure, I don't mind. I was a size 32 underwear, 32, 34 underwear at the age of 6 to 7. And I was that when I was like 24, 25. So yeah, I was a big boy.
Okay.
And then I lost the weight in high school up until... Why are you laughing at me?
Because when you said up until, I'm like, is this the part where I'm under fire?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. So until I turned 25. That's when I gained a lot of weight. And then I lost it again, thanks to Herbalife. I actually did Herbalife and it worked. And then I met him. And here we are.
Since then, he's ballooned.
I have balloons, yes. But I'm happy. Like, I'm not upset about it. All the time, at least.
All the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like for both of us, we go back and forth with, you know, our body image issues. But I mean, insecurity is like a regular thing in life in general. But let me talk about my journey for a little bit. So as far as I can remember, and I think anybody who has known me for the whole of my life would have been able to tell you that I was a fat kid, fat toddler, not even just a fat kid. I was a fat toddler.
I've never seen any pictures, by the way.
Yeah, like probably not at that age, because I think even from that age, I mean, I didn't take much pictures. I was very like active and like always out there doing things. So probably if you like look at a choir performance or something like that, you might be able to spot me. Thank God back then, you know, with the photography, with the little wind-up camera, it probably isn't the best resolution. So you can't really tell who is who, and it's always from a distance. But I grew up a big kid. And again, like for you, when I can remember having a pair of swim trunks I bought when I was like 9, and it was a size 36, and I was 9, and I didn't fit into those swim trunks until I was probably about 20.
You mean like fit in, like to wear?
To wear, yeah. And I actually had them still.
Oh my gosh.
And they were still cool when I wore them at 20.
Wow.
So
you couldn't fit them, like they were too small.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were too small because, so really and truly, I bought them like on a vacation here in Florida. And any Caribbean person would know that a Caribbean person's version of a vacation is that you go away for a few days, few weeks, whatever it is. You buy as much clothes and things as you can because, you know, everything up here is more affordable and you'll get a lot more stylish things up here for a good price. So bought the swim trunks and I was like, oh, you know, usually when I come up here, we go crazy with what we eat. So I'm gonna lose a few pounds by the time I go back home. Never did.
Oh my gosh.
Never did. So, I mean, that's me at 9. And then me at my biggest probably is around 250 pounds. Yeah, wow. 250 pounds. And that's probably when I was around, I would say between 16 and 18. That's when I got to that weight. Mind you, for me, it's like so weird because I never ever was like that person that ate too much food. I admit a lot of it were the wrong choices, but then I was also very active at the same time. When I was a kid, I was on the football team. Going through high school, college, university, I've played tennis, badminton, and not just played, like I represented my institutions in all those sports straight up to the intercollegiate level. I've trained for intercollegiate volleyball, so like I was an active kid. Beach every weekend, swimming, you know? So to me, that shows me that everybody's body is different. Yeah. Some people legitimately just aren't meant to be stick thin, abs out all the time. Yeah. And I must admit though that growing up, it was tough to not aspire to that because that's what everybody seemed to like. That's what everybody would always tell you. Like I've been teased my entire life when it came to weight. Mind you, it really did build very thick skin for me because that's why I'm so like easily able to just laugh everything off. Because I've been told everything under the sun. Like being a kid, I can remember being 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, fatty boom boom. That's what like I'm gonna laugh about it now, but you know, like being that young and being introduced to teasing, especially when it came to weight, like if it wasn't that, then it was how feminine I was, you know? So it's like I just felt like I couldn't win. If it wasn't one thing, it was the other. Did you ever experience anything like teasing, or maybe it might not have been at that stage in your life, but has that kind of discrimination or hurt showed up in your personal life in regards to weight at another point in your life?
So yeah, like I think that's just a black thing. The teasing, I think that's a way that we show love sometimes, because Alec and I spar still sometimes, so, and we enjoy it. So I think like my biggest, I guess, it was my mom. Like she would come hard, but she was my mom, and like I would laugh at it, so it really didn't bother me until people at school would tell me how big I was, or like why am I sweating in certain places that they weren't sweating. So I would say grade school, like 6th grade, that was the hardest for me. I was probably like 12, and at that time, I mean, I don't even remember. I don't think I got on scales at that time, so I can't tell you how much I weighed. But yeah, that was my experience. It wasn't as bad as yours. Like fatty boom boom. If they called me that, I'd laugh it off, you know?
I mean, I laugh now.
Yeah.
But at that
age, but you had to come in all different, from different angles, like your masculinity or lack thereof in their perception. Yeah. And then your weight, and then your color with the blacks. Like you had a lot coming at you at once. So
yeah, so I mean, it was many different things. And I mean, to be quite honest, it's like, as a kid, I was able to get over the weight part
fairly quickly.
Yeah, fairly quickly. Funny enough, like in terms of internally for me, when it is that I feel like weight became something that I was extremely conscious and insecure about, was when I lost the weight.
Really?
Yeah. So when I teared down from like 250 to maybe about 190 in a matter of maybe a year and a half. So that's relatively quickly to lose 60 pounds, you know? That was my first going into my 2nd year of university. And it was like, after I had lost all the weight, friends who I have had for years was just like, oh my God, you look so good now. I was just like, no. I was like, no.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I was okay before. I was like, oh, no. I mean, I didn't mean anything by it. You know, it was just, it's just like, you know, before you were. So it was only at that time that I actually started like looking into myself. And I was like, damn, well, you know, if everybody kind of just had me labeled as their fat friend and probably wanted to tell me, hey, you need to do something about that.
How do you tell somebody that though?
Yeah. I mean, I get that it's hard, but it's just like, it makes you second guess so many things and so many people. But again, like, that was a me thing. That was an insecurity I had to work through. But at that time, even when I lost that weight, that was because when I started university, we went through the orientation process. The orientation process, for those who, I mean, just to kind of give you like some kind of parallel here in the US, it's like for us moving on hall is the equivalent of somebody moving into a sorority. So you have that hazing kind of period. And during that period, like, we would be exercising a whole lot. We weren't eating, we weren't sleeping. So that triggered the weight loss initially. And then from there, I started training for 3 intercollegiate sports all at the same time. So I literally had some kind of intense training every single day of the week except maybe Sunday. So that's 6 days a week, training heavily, doing this for a year and a half. Of course, I was going to like melt that weight off. So that's when it really happened for me in terms of the insecurity. And I mean, even further then, it's like, you know, in that time when I'm now exploring, right, the peak of exploring my sexuality, of course the apps, you know, we played a little bit there, but
that's crazy. I've never been an app guy.
So I mean, I've never been an app guy for long. Like, literally, it would be like 1, 2, 3 days, and then I'm just like, okay, like, I feel guilty again, and then jump off. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No,
but,
not at all. I mean, I tried. I just did not resonate well on apps.
Yeah, but I mean, same for me, being in a homophobic country, 1. And then 2, a huge part of it too was that on 50% of the profiles, the first thing that you see is no fats, no femmes.
No fats, no femmes. Oh my god.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. That's that used to bother me when I was bigger and I did have an app. It's like you're not even trying to get to know me. Like, you'll message me because you'll see my face. But then when you see the no fats, no femmes, I feel like I fall in that category. Now my feelings are hurt. Like, let me block you right now because I can't even meet up with you. Yeah, so I mean, straight out the gate, I was just like, damn, man, I have 2 exes. I only need 1 more before I'm just chopped, you know? Yeah, okay. You're not femme to me.
I get that, but you see, because a lot of how we view ourselves, especially in the earlier stages of our lives, is through the lens of society or other people. So if somebody tells me, if one person tells me that I'm not thinking about the 30 people I've interacted with who didn't tell me that. You know, it's the one person who really said something that affected me, that resonates with me. So at that time, like, I would have just told myself I fall in that category, or because I wasn't sure, I was just like, well, you know, not to spare my feelings, let me just say I am in this category and not even try and pursue. Yeah, so that period of my life when I lost the weight, like, I was just confused because I was like, I'm still 190 pounds to me still is, you know, kind of heavy. But me at 190 pounds, I don't look that way. You know, I was 190 pounds for the wedding. And I think I look damn good in that wedding picture.
I was 208.
Yeah. For the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Why you?
No. I'm just like,
Are you fat shaming me?
No, because I mean, you didn't look like that, you know? And yeah, again, guys, it's just one of those things. It's like, I mean, I'm sure we're guilty of it too, in terms of like talking about weight or like looking at somebody and maybe saying something that might come off insensitive to them, but it is never intentional. Yeah. So that brings me to the part that I think everybody probably is waiting for, because as we did tell you before, especially of late, we've been experiencing, I mean, I don't want to say trolling, but
hate. It's blatant hate. Like, we get fat shamed a lot. Like, one of the comments said they didn't understand why people loved us so much because all they saw was was it obese?
Mm-hmm.
It was
almost
obese, okay looking,
gay,
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was so harsh, and of course it came from a blank profile with no face, no followers. Like, of course they were just there to hurt our feelings and probably wanted a reaction. But it's still like some of these words are still very hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
Especially having come from a background where you're already battling
so many demons,
so many different things. You know what I mean? So to come when all you want to do is be your authentic self and be proud of who you are, you have so many people, not even intentionally, but unintentionally attacking you about your weight and comparing you to other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's exhausting.
And I mean, don't get us wrong. We know that a lot of people, particularly here on YouTube, who have been able to watch our journey and watch us grow emotionally, physically, have watched us grow over the last year and a half. Of course, they would have observed the fact that we gained weight.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, you don't know how we looked before we started YouTube. You don't know what our history is like with weight. And I feel the good intention though when somebody says, you know, I want you to be healthy. Mm-hmm. But healthy looks different for different people. So that is something that's very important to note, mm-hmm. because we still are going to the gym. We drink water every single day. Mm-hmm. Literally, if we do drink any kind of sugary drinks, mm-hmm. I would have to say it's like maximum once or twice for the week.
Yep.
And it's on a one-off occasion.
Yep.
So everything, it's not the same for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But when it is that we do have a problem is when people move from concerned to what we would consider downright insensitive. Mm-hmm. And that's taking it kindly. Mm-hmm. So even here on this platform, we had somebody that commented and was like, you guys, yes, go to the gym because you need to look like, do I call them names?
Yes, those are our brothers and we love them to death.
You need to look like Kerry and Pierre. For those who know Kerry and Pierre, you know that they're extremely into fitness. Mm-hmm. Guys with an amazing physique, right? And
the sweetest people that you'll meet.
Mm-hmm.
But to come on our page and then say that we need to look like them, we're two different couples. Like, mm-hmm. I get it. You want to enjoy looking at them. That's fine. I enjoy looking at them. Mm-hmm. They have an amazing physique. But don't come over here and put that on us.
And then my thing is, at the end of the day, I enjoy looking at us too.
Yeah.
I enjoy looking at him every day. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as
Absolutely.
they say. And for me, like, I find all shapes and sizes attractive. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, the part that really bothered me was we gave a diplomatic response back and it was like, yes, they're great looking guys, but we are two different sets of people. Person continued to comment, yes, I agree, but I really like how they look. You should probably try. And I mean, it was the fact that it went for 4 responses.
Yeah.
Back and forth. And they just kept on trying to drill home, you know, you guys need to look like that other couple. Something like that, don't appreciate at all. Especially knowing the fact that this is like somebody who has been watching all the videos previous, and our journey has not been an easy one. Mm-mm. You know, it hasn't been an easy one at all. This entire immigration process, stressor. Being away from home, stressor. Being the only one working, stressor. Mm-hmm. You know, and stress also is a factor that can negatively impact weight. Yep. And not necessarily that you gain weight, but it affects your ability to lose weight too.
Yeah.
Brian has a condition that a part of it as well with the medication and the treatment is retaining weight.
Yeah, it's weight gain.
So it's like you just never know what it is that somebody is battling. So for me, it's like, especially when it is that you have a little bit more insight into the life of that person, you should probably just take a second, you know?
And think, is this important? Like, do I really need to say what I'm about to say right now?
Especially when it is that we have like a 30-minute video. And that's the one part, that's the one comment
The one thing
that you
say,
choose to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, for us, like, all of this now is triggered by the fact that, you know, when we were looking through and this new version of Sam Smith, or Sam Smith truly like coming into his own and being who it is that he wants to be, wearing what he wants to wear, like seeing that first, it inspired me, but then I was kind of hurt by like all the hate that he's getting too.
From our community, especially, because we're already hated on in so many different avenues. To hate on somebody else for them being authentically themselves, that's weak, man. That's so weak. Because nobody comes at you for being you, so don't, you know what I mean? Like, we should love everybody. Love is love. That's something that we always preach.
Yeah.
So love somebody for being who they are.
Yeah. And especially because it's so damn hard to even love yourself. So when, like, how I see that he's been taking it and him like being unapologetic about it and continuing to do these photo shoots and everything, I'm just like, have at it, Sam. Have at it. Because it truly is inspiring to see somebody so comfortable within their own skin and just saying, you know, this is me, take it or leave it. When it is that we started our journey, like, we already thought that or knew that we weren't body goals for a lot of people. And that also is a huge part of the reason why we decided to share. It wasn't just being gay, that wasn't it. It was for all the things that are part of our identity. It's being gay, it's being black, it's being parents in a blended family, it's being in an intercultural relationship, at the time long distance. And a part of that too is being people who aren't necessarily what the ideal body goal is too. Because to be quite honest, before we decided to start sharing, I mean, I would use our boy story as inspiration at that point. But when we saw like the pictures that they would share on social media, they'll be out there in like
Speedos, on the boat, like yacht life. Like, we really did look up to that because it's like, that's us. We see us in them. And they were so confident. And I admire their confidence because I don't have it. I want it. Yeah,
it's still something that we're working towards too. So we say all this to say, you know, like, not even to take it easy on us, but just in every day that you get up and you walk out your door, if it is that there's even a second thought about saying something negative to somebody, really just take a second, pause and think, do I know the shit that this person is going through?
Yeah.
Really.
Is it worth it?
And is my opinion right now valid? Like, do I need to share it? We just need a little bit more kindness in this world, guys. Yeah, I mean, this might be a little rant.
It's fine. We're allowed to rant here and there.
Yeah, it's needed. We're being real.
Yeah.
We're being real. But anyways, guys, we appreciate you sitting here and listening to us for the past however many minutes. We'd love to hear your feedback, what your experience has been like, and what's something that you might have learned from our conversation today. So please drop it in the comments below. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Please remember to share, especially with somebody who you think can benefit from this conversation. And if you haven't already, do what?
Subscribe.
All right, guys. Thanks. See you next time.